So I've got another document that I'm going to give you guys right now. So let's say that I'm doing my engagement, right? I can tell you a lot of people don't like doing this, and here's why. Let's say we're doing our penetration test and I break into a computer. A lot of people don't like to tell the customer that they broke into a machine because they don't want the customer to try to fix it. Let's say you need that machine to pivot and jump to another computer.
Right.
Right? So you're going to
find... Should you tell them that you fixed it upon after the entire...
Right.
This is over? Because that creates a vulnerability that wasn't there.
Right. Now, I'm on the opposite side of that. Now, again, I'm just telling you me because I'm just my opinion, okay? Please don't think that other people don't have a different view of it. This is just my opinion. If my goal as a penetration tester is to help the customer, then it doesn't matter if I try to help him in a way that he doesn't like. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Look, I'm not here to stroke my ego about how good of a hacker I am.
I am invincible!
I'm here to help the customer.
Right.
If the customer is the type of customer that as soon as he gets a breach, he's like, whoa, let's fix that. That's a big deal. Then let him do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, I'll tell him, look, I think, it'll be okay to leave it for the next few days of the engagement. But, sir, if you want to do it,
Yeah, go do it, right.
Go ahead. You know what I mean? Oftentimes, when you're in this may be this customer's first penetration test. And what you want to do is you want to become the kind of penetration tester that they really trust. Okay?
Right.
You're trying to move from a penetration test to becoming a trusted advisor.
Right.
That's right. The goal. The goal is not to always be pen testing, right? So you're trying to build rapport, build trust. Okay. So here's the compromise notification document. Let's say I've started the pen test, right? And we get to like Wednesday. So I've been testing for 3 days and I break into a machine. You see it's got the statement of confidentiality. You see how it's got this? The purpose of this document is to provide the customer with a quick synopsis of how this was compromised. Then what do you notice I give them?
The actual machine or a virtual machine?
Oh yeah. Here's my virtual machine. And then what? Take a look.
And map scan.
Yeah, here's what I did. Do you see it?
The step-by-step guide of this is the steps that I use to crack it, right?
Absolutely, right? So look, now we execute the nmap NSE script. You see it? Step by step, here's everything I did. The customer should be able to validate it. You see, I'm giving them a reference to that script that I use. Okay, and now here I use the Postgres client PSQL, and you see that I connect to the database. So I'm logged into the Postgres database.
Right, now just hold on a second, Joe. So when you're doing this, I'm assuming that you're following that initial document that you sent us this afternoon.
That's correct.
The attack playbook. Do you use anything else to record the steps that you're using?
So
or is it just
one of the nice things about PuTTY? One of the nice things about PuTTY is in the settings for PuTTY, right here you can say change settings, and then right down in here. So what you can do is you can tell PuTTY to save and timestamp all of your commands. So here you can see I've logged into the SQL database, and you notice I'm giving them every command that I ran. And then so that they don't have to go through installing it, that's the reason why I give them my virtual machine. You see why I'm doing that, guys?
Right.
Because what they'll run into is, oh, he couldn't get the PSQL client loaded. He couldn't get the Metasploit installed. He couldn't get the, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So he can't duplicate the just out of curiosity, do you run into that often where the client actually wants to duplicate the steps that you did?
No, I don't run into where they want to duplicate it, and that what I run into is the clients because they don't have the technical ability, they claim it's a false positive.
Okay.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
So the customer will be like, no, that's not cross-site scripting, or no, that's not this, or no, we ran that and you can't break into that. That's the reason I just got into the habit of, here's every single thing I did.
Right. So there's no disputing it. I see.
There's no disputing it, right?
Right.
So now you see how it's like, here's the command I ran to list all the databases. You see it?
Right.
Because what too many people do on penetration tests is they just show the screenshot of the end result. So they're like, this is vulnerable, here's the screenshot of the end result, and that's it.
So you kind of have to do a long write-up like you would with some of these CTFs that I see, that they're actually taking you from the enumeration phase all the way to the exploitation phase.
Well, again, you don't have to, because I'm telling you, most pen testers don't. The reason I'm showing you this is because I've really grown my business by being more of a trusted advisor than a pen tester.
Right.
At the end of the day, they're always going to get another pen tester next year. Well, I've got clients that I've been pen testing them 6-7 years.
Right. That's great. Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, Joe comes out and, you know, every year the customer starts to trust you a little bit more. And then they'll be like, you know, would you mind helping us with our voice over IP this year? You know, would you mind helping us with our SharePoint rollout this year? You kind of see what you're doing now?
Yeah, sure.
When they see what you're doing and they see what they get from somebody else, they immediately start going like, well, I mean, he didn't help us like did. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And this is this whole compromise, put the writing this up, that's within the initial 100 hours or 1 hour per 100 servers.
Absolutely.
Estimate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm doing this the day I compromise it, which
Right.
is what
Okay.
most testers don't do.
Don't do.
Most testers
They don't
don't
do
give you the compromise info until after they're done. Me, if I break into a machine on day one, I'm giving you this document on day one. And again, I'm not trying to say my way is the right way. I'm just trying to say why I do it. There's plenty of guys who do the exact opposite, and they feel like, well, if you're notifying the customer, they're going to be fixing stuff, you know, and that stops your ability to pivot and move further into the network. And that's a very legitimate argument. I'm just telling you, for me, my goal is not to be the pen tester. My goal is to build so much trust with the customer. You trust me as a trusted advisor.
Right. Right.
You know, so that's my long-term goal.
I suppose it depends on the client, you know, more so than everything, you know, the approach that you take.
Right. And then you got to think about it, right? I'm coming up on 17, 18 years of doing this. I don't have the ooh-ah when I break into a machine anymore.
Right. Right. It's all a process to you.
Here you see me running database commands against the database, right? And then here you see me, and then when I create a table in the database, what I do is I copy the Etsy password into that new table that I created. That way I can run an SQL query to read the table and read the password files.
Okay.
Okay. Once I did that, and then I delete the table. That's what the drop table does. After doing that, you see here how I'm showing them, hey, here's me doing the exact same commands with Metasploit. So, you know, you see how I'm actually showing them two different ways to do the attack? So when I grabbed the password hashes, I uploaded them to a Rainbow Tables website and I cracked the passwords. And now after that, I do the exact same process again with Metasploit.
Right. Okay.
Okay, right here, description, resolution, log in, here's how you update it. You say I'm giving them the fix. Okay, so I'm giving the customer all this as soon as I compromise it. Here's the remediation reference. So I give the customer all this stuff, and then we keep moving on and keep moving on. So to give you some numbers now you know we were at 100 hosts per hour for scoping. So in that 1 week, 2 weeks, however long that we've got, this is my express goals. I'm trying to either become domain admin in the environment, or I'm trying to show that I control 10% of the network.
The network, okay.
Okay, so if they've got 100 computers, I'm trying to show that I've got control of 10 of them.
Right.
If they've got 1,000 computers, I'm trying to show I've got a control of 100 of them.
Right, okay.
See that? So when these infrastructures get big, 10,000, 15,000 computers, it's just easier to go after domain admin.
Right.
Right? Because once I'm domain admin, it's like, hey, look, you know, I
I got everything. Yeah, I got the keys to the kingdom, right.
keys to the kingdom. Okay?